we are in a time of transition, I feel.
Ooh.
You know, we're getting exclusive things. We're getting, I think, smaller batches, clearly. I mean, Sideshow's been communicating that pretty clearly, I think. But Justin, I'm wondering if Hot Toys is going to start producing, I mean, it could be a twofold thing. It could be we produce maybe just as many characters, but lower volume, or maybe we produce less characters and less volume to create more demand and more engagement overall. But I mean, I'm wondering, Justin, are we going to start to see less supporting characters? Because one thing I have noticed, I'm starting to see these wait lists a little bit more. Some of these not as much, but I mean, I'm starting to see like Kate Bishop and Reva and Grand Inquisitor and stuff like that they know is not like super high moving stuff, you know, and they're just waitlisting more quickly. You know, right now, clearly, I think there's pretty concerted effort from these companies to say, we don't want to sit on mountains of dead stock. We want to create a little more demand. We want to create a little more excitement and get people pre-ordering. Put it bluntly, we want to, people stop pre-ordering. We got to get them pre-ordering it. How do we do it? We make less, right? And stop sitting on dead stock and selling shit for 50% off. That's pretty much what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, Justin, are we going to stop seeing more as many supporting characters, and maybe they'll just boost overall quality of the figures they do make? What do you think?
I think that, look, the way that I would do it if I was Hot Toys, and I'm not saying this is what they will do, but the issue is with supporting characters, waiting 1 or 2 years for a main character maybe is okay, but waiting 2 to 3 years for a supporting character like a Stormtrooper or a Clone Trooper or a Reva or a Fifth Brother or whatever, it's not really what people are interested in doing. And I think that might be one of the biggest reasons why people aren't pre-ordering as much, because they're like, I don't know when I'm going to get this. Like, it could be 5 years from now that I'm going to get this. So what I would do is, like you said, less side characters, more main characters, focus on quality. And this is going to be an interesting one. Let the third parties make the side characters, because who are you going to pair those third party figures with? The main characters, your Hot Toys figures. Them selling means you're selling, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make the characters. You don't have to make a loss, because if they say, "Oh, bloody hell, we made all of these," I'm trying to think of one that's been sitting around. I don't know. Give me an example.
I would say Cable.
Cable. We made a shitload of cables and nobody's buying it. But the Toy Zero one, that sold out, and it was going for crazy money on the aftermarket. You could argue that, oh, well, if Hot Toys do their own cable, then they can cash in on that too. Not the same, because as you can see, it's still in stock.
Right.
They made too many, or people were waiting too long. This came out how many years after Deadpool 2? Nobody cared about cable at that point, right? They can't be quick enough. They can't focus all of their efforts on these tertiary characters because they're not as important. Cable was really important to the story, but most of them are just side characters. So what I would do is focus on the main characters, let the third party handle the side characters, because they can fight over that. They can spend their own money on that, and Hot Toys don't have to waste any money at all. They can focus all their efforts on the main characters, because that's who these third party figures are going to be paired with anyway. Like Dr. Fate, for example. Some people may not have been interested in getting Black Adam until they saw 5 companies announce a Dr. Fate, someone announced a Hawkman. Now they're, okay, well, now I'm building the Justice Society. Okay, well, now I'm going to get Black Adam. I'm going to get Dr. Fate. I'm going to get... It works well. This is kind of what has been happening for years now, but Hot Toys, I reckon you're right. They should focus on main characters more, because that's their bread and butter. And people are a little bit more willing to wait slightly longer, perhaps, for a main character versus a side character. Because where the hell is Kate Bishop? Although arguably it is kind of her show, but where is Kate Bishop? Bloody
right. Yeah. And dude, they didn't even make Hawkeye from that show. Like, they made Kate Bishop, but they were like, fuck Hawkeye. Like, we're not doing it. Yeah, dude. But I'm wondering, Justin, so it's a tough one, because ultimately it's a good thing that people have more figures to choose from. There's great. A lot of people really want Electro. That's great, right? If you really want Electro, I'm glad that he exists in Hot Toys form, so you can buy it and add it to your collection. But I'm wondering if Hot Toys is starting to maybe take a different approach, where they say, you know what? We're going to kind of focus on charging maybe a little bit more and going after those top tier kids, like Anakin Skywalker, right? That's a character that he's just hot as hell right now. Everyone wants an Anakin Skywalker, right? Like, everyone wants Electro. Yeah, this film came out a while ago, right? but it doesn't quite have the legs long term that Anakin does. Anakin's film came out 20 years ago, and people are still like, and they put up a Heath Ledger Joker. You know how many Jokers have been made, but people are like, oh my God,
I
it's fucking Heath Ledger. You know what I mean? So many.
In my video, I was complaining, Will. I was like, bloody hell, can we let him, like,
dude, I'm sure like
years,
his likeness has been put on so many collectibles now at this point.
Oh, for sure.
It's Harrison Ford, the opposite. It's like it's the complete opposite of Harrison Ford. Like everything Heath Ledger has been made. Like it's, I'm glad that we're getting more joke. I mean, look, I love that character. I love that actor. It's a great performance and iconic, but I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't know, bro. I'm starting to wonder, like, I love that these are happening, but maybe if they do keep making all of these characters, just make them smaller batches, which I think they've already started to do. But look, they haven't even done most of the Mando season 3 figures yet. I mean, they haven't done that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Super Troopers and all those guys.
Dude, the Praetorian Guards, Moff Gideon. I mean, that's a lot of stuff too. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're missing out on revenue by not making these characters. I don't know, but it's just, you know what I mean?
They're out on a little bit, but they could make up for it with Anakin. Right. Or they could make up for it with Joker. I think line-based collecting, I'd be curious to see a poll on this, actually. There are two types of ways of collecting, like main ones, at least that I can see. Right. Line-based collecting and collecting iconic characters. So InArt's approach is we're not going to do a line. We're only going to make iconic characters. It's the Joker, for example, or it's Gandalf. I highly doubt that they're going to go down that rabbit hole of making every single character in Lord of the Rings. That's the Hot Toy style, line-based collecting. We make a full line, therefore you want to buy all of them. Whereas InArt's approach is very much the statue approach. We'll make one character from one IP. Maybe we'll come back and we'll make another character down the line so you can pair it with it, but maybe not. This character is iconic enough that you will want to pick up just that one character. I'm very curious to see how many people do the line thing and how many people do the iconic character thing. Can we do a poll on that, Will? Is that possible?
I got one running right now. I said, do you collect line? It's 67% no right now. So
see, that's what I mean. So Hot Toys don't need to make the Moff Gideons and Praetorian Guards, especially, like, I love that armor for Moff Gideon. I would buy it for sure. But the first one didn't really sell that well, honestly. No. I really liked it, but a lot of people didn't like the head sculpt. A lot of people said he was a little bit too short. So Hot Toys is sitting there thinking, well, do we double down and make another one? Or do we move on to season 4 or Ahsoka, for example, and make a Sabine Wren? And maybe that's the only character we get from Ahsoka because her outfit is the same from Mando. Why would they make the same thing again? They just did a DX Ahsoka 2 seconds ago.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I do agree with you, Justin, that InArt is clearly taking a different approach. And I think what they're doing is like, I think exactly. I mean, they are going to make Legolas. They did say they're going to make a Nazgul, but I'm starting to wonder if they're actually going to do the Nazgul. I'm starting to wonder if they might say, okay, we'll do Legolas because he is iconic. We'll do the big 3. They're not even probably doing Frodo. Like they're not going to do the whole line. They're just doing the 3 that they know people would most want. And that's really, and those are big iconic characters. Like it's almost like those characters are more iconic than Frodo in some ways, interestingly enough. But I don't know. But I think it's just in figure form, that's how it goes. But I'm starting to wonder, Justin, I'm thinking that we might start seeing less. Like Hot Toys, they've been overwhelmed, dude. They've been trying to
years,
characters. And look, all the TV shows. Maybe they keep doing supporting characters if Disney, like they said, Bob Iger said they were going to do, pull back on the TV shows a bit. Yes. And Hollywood's like, okay, now we need to produce more figures. Then maybe we'll do more supporting characters. But if these shows keep being pumped out the way that they are, like eventually something's going to give. It's going to be less supporting characters would be the move, probably, and less volume.
By the way, Will, just on because Moff Gideon was on display at ACGHK.
Yeah.
16_star something, I assume Star Wars, says Hot Toys teased another Armorer, but they can't sell out on the other one. That is true. So that's another example, the Armorer.
Yep.
Star Wars Pimpazoid. Okay, Star Wars Pimpazoid. Yeah, that is true. The Armorer. And I spoke to Jimmy, who is the poser, or one of the posers that Hot Toys has going around doing all the poses. I spoke to Jimmy. First of all, I walked up to Jimmy. I'm like, hi, Jimmy. And before I could even ask him a question, he said no. And I was like, no. This Armorer, did you do the pose? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, when they were posing it, do you know if it's a single bend or double bend elbows? And he was like, I don't know. So yeah,
so right away he was just like, no, no.
Yeah, no. The first. I don't know if he wanted me to, because I don't know if he thought I was going to ask him to like open the cabinet or whatever, but he was just like, no. And I was like, oh, I was
Absolutely
going to
not.
ask you a question. He was like, oh yeah, okay.
Okay, then yes.
And then he was like, yeah, I don't know. So even if they don't make any improvements as well, that is even less reason that you're going to want to pick it up. If they show it like Armor 1.0 and it's got like the 90-degree bend, and you know how they do the side by side?
Yeah.
And they have Armor 2.0 and
Dude.
the arms are up here.
Well,
oh
like,
my god!
think about it, Justin. Look, Anakin and Joker, of course, are different, right? But they
Yes,
showed those, they showed those Mandalorian figures, and no one gave a fuck. Like, it's just kind of like, you know what? They're kind of, people are like, those Praetorians are pretty cool. You know how often people in the community talked about those Praetorians or Moff Gideon for like 3 seconds? They were like, you know what? That Anakin is cool, and so is the Predator. And then John Wick was pretty cool. But then like the Praetorian ones and stuff, they look cool, but it just feels like kind of we've explored that territory and people were just ready for something different. I feel like, you know, I think they're communicating that.
I think you're right. Star Wars right now is not. I mean, I was liking season 3 of Mandalorian, and then I don't know. I've kind of forgotten about it. Like I've kind of moved on from it. You know, it's like
I didn't like
enjoyed
it. So it was kind of disposable. Right. Yeah,
correct. And I think that's most of the Disney Plus content has kind of been that way. Yeah. Whereas other streaming shows kind of stick with you a little bit more, like Ted Lasso. That's like
I've heard that's great.
Got legs. Will, have you not seen Ted Lasso?
I have not. It's
won like 85 Emmys.
I know. It's crazy. I've heard, but I'm not watching.
Cool.
Isn't it on Apple TV though? Isn't it?
It's on Apple TV. It's not. It's number 1 on Apple TV. Yet it's ended like half a year ago, and it's still number 1. Wow. That's how good it is.
Is it? Yeah. Is it like The Office or something? Is it kind of like that?
No, it's just like it's so wholesome. It just makes you feel good, and the characters are funny. And the drama is interesting, and it's just a really good, entertaining, wholesome show. And I think that's why people love it. Like, I can't say any more about it. You just have to watch it, and I think you'll like it.
I'll give it a watch. Yeah. But I will say you're onto something, Justin, as far as the more serious shows. One of the shows that I think has really stuck with me is The Boys. Like The Boys, yes. I just love that show. I'm just a huge fan of The Boys. I think it's probably the best show on television. I think when it's running, you know, I think it's fantastic. I would love, again, a high-end representation of those characters, but it's just Star Race I'm not feeling great about. I'm not feeling great.
RIP Big Chief Studios, obviously they went under. A lot of folks lost their jobs, so we feel bad for them. Yes. I don't mean to wish ill on anybody, but surely Star Race can't be far behind with the quality that they're putting out. Like, seriously.
No, I think you're onto something, and I feel bad about that. I think it's true.
At Big Chief, quality was better than 100% better than Star Race every day of the week.
Right.
So Star Race, I think if they don't get their house in order, I think they might be in trouble, because I don't see anyone saying any positive things about any Star Race figures. I have the Rocky. I haven't even entertain the idea of reviewing it yet, because it's just awful.
That would be a pretty funny review, though, I will say.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to have fun with it. But I also ordered a new head sculpt from Jin Toy, the young Rocky with the hat on that I plan.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully I can get that. That's coming in September, so I can do it maybe next month. But right now, just like, and then Matrix and Resurrections and Neo. Oh god,
dude. Dude, people are really going to care about that one. That's for sure. It's an unfortunate one. But guys, we got a couple super chats, Justin, that we want to just first off, I want to we got to get to those. And we did have a comment. I think I got to find it from Mr. Kiko Collects, a friend of the show, co-host of my Friday show. Good to see Kiko. Too cheap for a super chat, dude. You got NRDs. So I totally get it. Too tired to stay and watch. Just want to say you're real and Will Brock. For the win. Yeah, dude. So Justin, his wife, Amy, shout out to Amy. She does a like, it's like an effect on Instagram where she talks and she's like a floating head of broccoli. And it's really
I see.
It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. So
excellent.
Yeah, I'll have to show it to you sometime. But so yeah, we got some super chats, but I have to scroll. Dude, that's one bad thing about Melon, I will say, Justin. You can't save chat. So I have to go all the way back up.
You could scroll up, baby.
Yeah, so if I miss one, I'm so sorry, guys. I'll try to get to it. Off topic, but did any company make the outfit for the night out look at the beginning of the Batman? Do you know, Justin? Because I don't even know what that is.
They called it the there's a name for it. bloody hell, I've forgotten now. But you know, at the start of the Batman, where he's wearing that like bomber jacket and he's got the mask covering his face, and he's wearing the baseball cap, and he's on the streets before he puts on the Batman costume in the train.
Okay,
Yeah. So I would have loved to have seen a Bruce Wayne in that outfit. It's not hard, like it's not a hard outfit for a company to make either. I don't know why they didn't. Like a 2-pack Bruce Wayne, so that way you can use that head sculpt that you're getting anyway. That I'm not going to use because I want to have him as Batman, like fully cowled with the cape and all. I'd be curious to do. I might do a poll on one of our next streams. How many people use unmasked head sculpts? Like,
dude,
if you want to represent Batman, don't you want to represent Batman? Like,
dude,
or do you want to represent Bruce Wayne?
See, I think it's more Batman. Like I almost never use the unhelmeted head sculpt.
Yeah,
like never.
But we always want them.
Yeah, we do want them, and we complain when they're not good, but then we don't use them.
Yeah, but we never use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Portland Bruce, Charlie. I don't think that was quite the name. I think they call him like, it's like a motorcycle term. It'll come to me as we're recording, and I'll just shout it.
Motorcycle man. Yeah, it's something like that. Dude, it's something like that. But thanks for the super chat. Civilian Sal collects. Good to see you, bro. Justin, any plans on selling Marion Cobretti? I don't know who is that.
That is the Sly Stallone figure of Cobra. So one of his movies that he did in the 80s that I reviewed. No, Sal. So Sly Stallone himself actually selected my channel and D Knight's channel to review that figure.
Nice.
His company made that. So he sent it to me. So I won't be selling that because that's a little bit sentimental. I'm a massive Sly fan, Rocky, Rambo, etc. So I'll be holding on to that one that was sent to me by the team at Sly Stallone Shop and maybe even Sly himself. So yeah, that one's a keeper.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. That's dude, to get a figure from Sly himself, man. That's
my dad was so excited.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, he loves Sylvester Stallone.
Well, we got a super chat. Brooklyn. Good to see you, Brooklyn. Brooklyn Wolf, the creator. You'd have to be blind. Hot Toys bootlicker to think InArt had no effect on Hot Toys. Strong language, but I don't think. I think you would have to. Yeah, you'd have to be pretty oblivious to think that they've had no effect. I mean, I think so.
Of course, they're the same market, the same scale, similar price tag. Of course, they're going to have effects on each other. What Hot Toys does, InArt will learn from. What InArt does, Hot Toys will learn from. But not quite enough because I still want those seamless wrists. So
yeah, I think so too. Dude, come on now. This Wenwu was amazing, but give him seamless wrists.
Oh, like if he had both options, you can still do wrist pegs. It's fine. Right. But if you do like the kung fu poses, like all of those gestures that he had with the rings, but seamless, well,
that would have been the move.
Well, that would have been the move.
It still looks great.
Forearms on Mi Shang-Chi, and it's a big upgrade.
It is. Well, Brooklyn, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. And then, so we talked about the Batman one. We did that one. Thank you so much, Ryan. Mark Lee said, competition is a great thing. Collectors like myself want all the Jokers. I guess there's a segment of people out there. There are people who only collect Batman and have whole rooms for Batman. It is true, Mark. It is true. Batman is super hot, dude, which we are going to talk about him next, actually. We're going to talk about
and Superman, too. I know some collectors who only collect Christopher Reeve Superman, and anything Christopher Reeve Superman, like statues, figures, lunchboxes, whatever, they'll collect that. Like, we forget that there are some really hardcore collectors of certain like one character things out there that have like, they're always the ones on like the news. Like you're watching the news, they're like, we have gone to the house of Jimmy and Jimmy loves Superman and here's his Superman room and he spent X amount. Like there are collectors like that out there for sure.
It's true. Absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you so much, bro, for the super chat. And we got one more. So Fatal, the collector, perfect example is EA purchasing. Dude, trust me, I know this better than anyone. EA purchasing the NFL exclusivity, halting 2K. Madden sucks now with mediocre upgrades, competition, better products. Hot Toys stepping up. I used to be a huge Madden player, Justin. American football, the Madden version. So basically, I used to run leagues and franchises and stuff, CFMs, and I loved it. But it just got, after a while, it's like, dude, the updates were so trash, and they never updated the game. Like EA just never gave a fuck. And every year, people would complain, and nothing would get changed. And then next year, they'd be like, well, we hear you, we're gonna change this, and then they just never fucking change it. So it's so basically, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And that's honestly what Hot Toys was kind of doing until InArt came along. And now it's like, now we got 2K back in the fold, baby. And now that's pretty much what's happening. Yeah. So.
Now we got to do it. But I think license exclusivity is not beneficial to anyone, including the license holders. Right. Why would you want only one company to make shit from your movie? Like that limits the amount of money that you can make too.
I've never understood that. Yeah.
It's very odd. Like, why would you be so
I remember John said that, Justin. Remember about The Boys? He was like,
Yes,
yeah, he said
true.
Amazon said we have Star Ace, so we're good. Yeah, like it's
Really? Like, even if you did, even if Star Ace was making the best The Boys figures ever, wouldn't you still want more? Like,
right.
it's just having variety out there for your IP means that you have more avenues for collectors to go down, high end, low end, whatever. So I've never understood that. That's just wild to me. That, and Seyfel says license reputation. Yeah, maybe, but that's on a case per case basis. Like, giving a license to InArt is very different to giving a license to Star Race.
Right.
So, and they did that. So,
well, I think these companies don't really follow these communities that closely, and they just like, they look at it from a distance, and they're just like, well, I don't really know you, so I'm not going to give it to InArt. Like, they might be amazing, but they don't know them, so they're just like,
could be. I feel bad for whoever's running the licensing department, because if you're running the licensing department and your whole job is licensing your properties to make toys,
yeah,
you should know a little bit about the toys that you're giving the licenses to, like, just a little bit. Because can you imagine that, Will? It's like you go into the boardroom, it's like, yeah, so we gave a license to this company. It's like, do you know what they make? Oh, fuck no. Moving on.
I got the money. That's it. That's all I care about.
Got the money, baby.
Yeah,
but,
dude. Could you imagine InArt the Boys, though, man? InArt the Boys.
Oh, dude. Can you imagine? And Homelander, like,
I mean, it would come out in like 2028, but like it would be amazing when it did get to your door. So it's
that's So Toys Homelander. Did it actually release or no?
That's a good question. They said it did, but then like no one got it, did they?
I didn't get it. I mean,
yeah. So if you didn't get it, I would assume
I've reviewed like 85 Homelanders at this point, so I'm Homelanded out. But you know, I don't think we've had. I really, really love the Toy Zero one, the latest one.
Yeah,
but I still don't think we quite have the perfect Homelander, because you can't fold down the flap on his thing.
Oh, dude, that's
I think
huge.
you need to have that. You need to have that.
Yeah, that's a big part. I mean, he does that, I would say, in the show every so often. I mean,
well, that little thing of him in the mirror, like,
yeah, exactly. Like flipping it back and forth.
It almost
feels like it was improv or something. I don't know.
I think so.